Welcome to the Extended Gamut Podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Episode 4. Andy is excited for this episode. Hopefully you are too. We've got questions to cover, so we're going to get right to it. Stay tuned. All right, here we are, episode 4. You're excited.
I'm in a good mood for a Monday morning.
Andy recently saw the greatest movie he's ever seen.
Did not say that.
The new Top Gun, Andy's favorite movie of all time.
False. I said it was one of the best movies I've seen.
Okay.
I
Few movies are sequels and are rated as high or higher than the original.
thought so. I watched the original in preparation, just a refresh course, and I was underwhelmed. I was not whelmed. So I really came into it thinking the new one has to be way better, or else it's just not for me.
Yeah.
And it was way better.
Well, you could leave comments on this video with other sequels that were great. I'll give you a couple. Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
Rambo, First Blood, Part 2.
Okay. Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. So, Batman. There's been like 37 Batman.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know which one.
I thought 36 was pretty good.
All right, so who should listen to this podcast? Outside of our relatives, we would say anyone in the print industry, people who use technology like printers, accessories, software in the wide format, digital space. That's probably who should listen to this podcast. If you're not one of those people, you can keep listening. We don't know if it's going to go up or down from here.
Yeah.
So, that's that. Cheers to this episode. I don't have a mug today. I just have a clear plastic cup.
That's like the kind you would get at the dentist.
It is. It's a little bigger, but yeah. And then they suck it right out of your mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Should we talk about actual printing things?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
All right, Maverick. Question 1. What foam board is approved and works on the HP Pagewide? So what some people may or may not know, the new Pagewide XL Pro, which is geared towards the graphics market, you can now put a flat board, rigid board through it, and the questions come because people think, oh, I don't have to buy a flatbed printer, I can just print on this Pagewide. And
Yeah. Yeah. So, similar to latex, HP has their media locator. So this is a really good tool. This is where I would direct everyone when they have questions about whether, can I print this on an HP? So a library of all the different compatible medias with profiles that have been set up in the latex case, all the heat settings, all of that. So on the media locator, there's only 4 rigid substrates that are set up, and they're all from 3A Composites. And they all are collaborations with HP for the top coat.
Okay.
So because the printer is printing so fast, you have to be able to dry ink quickly enough so that it's not just a puddle of aqueous ink. So there's 4 different foam. There's a foam core in 2 different flavors, and then there's this Dispa layered paperboard in a couple different finishes and thicknesses. So those are there's 4 that are ready to go. The way that HP talks about, so with latex, we've sold it for years as versatility, right? Like you can print on just about anything. If any job comes through the door, you're going to be able to take it and do it well. And on Pagewide, it's not versatility, it's compatibility. So if the right job comes through the door and you want to do it super, super fast, you have to find the right substrate that you're going to be able to print on. And then if you dial that in, you can go a million miles an hour and do, just insane amount of volume. But you have to find the right substrate. It's not the Swiss Army knife that latex is. So with that said, I think having one here, having it in our demo center, being able to test different substrates, these are the ones that HP says will work, certified. But we've printed on Gilman Brothers paper-faced foam board, and that's worked well. There's different substrates that we'd be willing to run through the printer and see if they'll print. But it does need to have a nice aqueous top coat that's going to be able to dry the inks.
Right. So if the question is which ones are approved, what we've heard from HP would be 3A Composites and Gilman Brothers both make ones that are approved. And there could be others, but right now it all has to do with that coating.
Yeah. And so if you are thinking this is an alternative to a UV flatbed printer, it is not. It's just not, because that's made to print on all kinds of substrates. This is made to print on maybe one type of paper-faced rigid substrate.
Okay. All right, that's question 1. We'll move on. Question 2. What are the steps I need to follow in order to make a canvas wrap? So I think some of the background of this question was, I have a printer. I also bought a canvas online, and could I use my printer and make one myself if I wanted to?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go step by step. So it starts with, you have to have bars, right? So if you're going to stretch, let's say you already have the printer and you have the canvas substrate. So what else do I need to line up so that I can make a print? So you need to have bars picked out in advance.
When you say bars, you're talking like something that the canvas is going to wrap around.
Right. So the wood bars that you'd stretch around. And those will come in different depths. So how far offset from the wall, basically, it's gonna wrap around. And so we sell 2 different kinds, 1 and 1/4 inch and 1 and 3/4 inch. We call them like the standard bars and the pro bars. And the ones we sell have adhesive on them so that you could, without any tools, do a wrap. So it's super important, though, before you start deciding and making your file, you have to know what size bar you have, because you have to design that into the file. So you do that. And then you have to decide what you want your border to look like. So you can, the side of the canvas, the side that's not visible, looking at it straight on, but you would see if you're at a slight angle. You have to decide if you want to extend the image and just have it wrapped to the back. So you might lose some of the image where you wouldn't really see it from the front. Or you can mirror it. So it takes like the last pixels from the side of the canvas, and then it just mirrors them again to the sides.
Yeah.
So it just kind of extends it's like an optical illusion type thing. Or you can just do like a color and make it like a black wrap around the outside, or white, or whatever.
Which I would say is probably the least common.
Yeah. I think most people like to do mirror.
Yeah.
If you have people right up to the edge, it gets kind of funky, because you could start duplicating faces and it might just look weird. So you got to do that, and then so you're going to design your file with that so you're going to take, if you say you chose 1 1/4 inch bars, you're going to need to have 1 1/4 inch on each side and on the top and bottom, and then an additional 1 inch or 2 inches that you grab that wraps all the way to the back of the canvas. So you would design your file with that amount of excess space, and then you wrap it. So if you buy the adhesive bars, you would follow our YouTube video. We can link that for the YouTube audience. So you
notes, yeah.
Yeah, so you would just, follow that step by step, super easy. If you're doing it in a traditional manner, you can hand stretch it with a stapler and do it that way. And then there are different levels of automation that you can buy machines to do it too. I would assume if you're asking this question on YouTube, you probably aren't ready to drop thousands of dollars on a machine to do it.
Yeah.
But it can be done, and it can be done from something to just hold the canvas so you can staple, up to fully automated. You put it into the machine and it comes out with a canvas wrap. So,
all right. Those are the steps.
Should we do this other question about coating canvas?
Sure. What was that question? It was
when coating canvas, it's how important is the finish of the canvas versus the finish of the laminate? What is the impact of using different combinations?
I always thought this was an interesting one, because we've been asked this question a lot, even prior to this podcast. And there's different finishes on canvas, right? You have a matte, you could have a semi-gloss, a gloss. So think of it like paint, right? A flat paint, eggshell, satin, different things like that. Mm-hmm. And then when you put your coating on to protect it, those also have finishes. So it's like, what combination should I use?
Yeah.
You can try it in different ways. We're going to give you what we feel is the best. And simply put, the best would be print on matte canvas, so you have no sheen, and then choose your sheen using the coating.
Yeah. Yeah, by applying your coating and then applying another coating if you want it even glossier. Yeah, that's what we recommend.
But using a semi-gloss canvas and then trying to apply a matte,
going backwards, it doesn't. Yeah. And part of it's just cost. Like, so if we look at like EPSON's matte canvas, it's $1.30 a square foot, and their gloss canvas is $1.78 a square foot. And the reason you pay extra is because it has that addition. That's that extra coating. So you're paying for that gloss coating. So to buy a gloss coated canvas, pre-coated, and then apply more matte coating to get it to be matte, it's just not cost effective.
Yeah.
So we sell Clear Shield and we sell Premier Art, are two different roll-on top coats. And then you can also you can apply them with different, like a laminator or with a spray gun. So if you have questions about that, that's probably a good phone conversation.
Okay. All right, so foam board, canvas wraps, coating canvas. We had a technical question come in. How do I print 3 layers on my EPSON S80? So the EPSON S80 is the eco-solvent 64-inch printer.
Yep.
And someone wants to know how they print 3 layers.
Yeah, this was from Designer 02 Nerd Stickers.
Oh.
So he's probably printing clear stickers that you would want to be able to view from 2 sides. So if you were to put a sticker on a window and you wanted to be able to see it from inside and from outside, which is a cool application. So it can be done. It is super tricky. He said, like, I've tried everything. This one is probably one that's going to be better to do on the phone or with an email to our text@itsupplies.com. But we will link to a PDF that EPSON has put out that kind of shows step-by-step for doing spot color with white ink. And one of the ways that they have set it up is with 3-layer. But it's really important to use the right profile, obviously. So most profiles aren't even going to have that as an option.
Right.
To even. So we'll show you we need to know what RIP they're using as well, but within Onyx, Caldera, a couple others that are in this document that we could show you how to do it.
Yeah. And setting the file up properly, I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is really important.
Yep. Yeah, and so this tells you how to name your colors when you're designing it.
So we put this on to say it is possible, but at the same time, we're not totally answering the question because we'd have to ask a few other questions to really make it meaningful.
But I think other people probably have a similar type question. So we'll put the document up. Hopefully that helps some people. But I think for this Designer 02 Nerd Stickers, we should have a conversation. I think we can help you get it sorted out.
Yeah. All right, final question for today from Anonymous.
He's a big listener of ours.
He is a big listener.
Yeah, he's our number one fan.
Very big supporter of ours, and we appreciate all his.
Yeah.
Or there, it could be a group. There's Anonymous with the capital A, and then there's the Anonymous with the lowercase a. So
yeah.
It could be at least 2 different people.
Yeah. Do you think they're all alcoholics?
I don't know what that means. Oh, Anonymous. I got you. All right. How often should I upgrade my equipment? That's a pretty general question.
I feel like we could do a whole show.
Every month. Upgrade your equipment.
Yeah. Give me a call.
No.
Depends on the equipment, I think. So
yeah. I think what we find is business owners all have different ideas for when they upgrade their equipment. So we could speak to what we see. We could speak to what we would do. I like the idea of owning a printer that's under warranty so that if anything goes wrong, it is covered under warranty, and then letting it, so I would pay to extend the warranties and let it run. And then when I'm out of warranty, if it breaks, that'd be the time, and I'd be ready to buy a new printer. And then in the meantime, if my business is growing, I might add printers based on volume. And then if a significant technology shift happens that it makes more sense economically or from a workflow standpoint, those would be the times where I would say, all right, let me consider that.
Yeah. I think I agree on the warranties because of how expensive a repair can be. I would never want to own a printer outside of warranty. Just for me, I'd want to fix, and I'm not a warranty type guy. I never buy the warranties on TV or a refrigerator or whatever. I just don't. I feel like, I don't know. Some of them I feel like are just scams. But in this case, if you're buying a piece of technology for your business and we know the costs associated with the repair, I don't want to have to pay that out of pocket.
What about if you get a call from someone that wants to sell you a car warranty?
I always take that call. Or if I win a vacation, those are two calls I'm always picking up. Yeah. No, so that's what I would do. And so with EPSON and HP and Canon, we would want to talk about how long you can warranty the equipment, and then like you said, when you get out of warranty, it's really like you're playing with house money. Like, how long can I make this thing go before it needs a repair? So taking care of it, doing the preventative maintenance, so that you can just milk that investment as long as.
Yeah. But it's a little trickier today because if you're like riding that, I'm out of warranty and I'm waiting for it to break to buy a new one, but new ones aren't always readily available.
Yeah.
Today, it's like, so that's changed things a little bit, but as a general rule, I think upgrading is probably in every 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Is probably a good range.
Yeah. And
barring new technology coming out that's like changing the game or something.
Right, and volume, or there's a lot of factors, but I think we should do a podcast on how would we go about buying equipment. Like, if we were in the listener's shoes, what would we do? Like, what would be the steps we'd follow to determine the right printer and buy it, like from beginning to end? I think that could be a cool show.
Yeah. Well, who decides what we do? I guess we do. We could vote on it. We could approve it.
Okay. I'll send it to vote.
Okay. And I'll second the motion. All right. That's it. Those are the questions. Thanks for submitting them. But that is it for the episode number 4 of the extended Gamut. So hopefully you learned a few things, enjoyed the conversation. We learned a little bit about Andy today. Don't forget to let us know about other sequels that were better than the original. Or if maybe Andy hasn't seen a different movie.
I've only seen 3 movies in my life, so putting it in the top 3 isn't. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. Continue to submit your questions. www.itsupplies.com/questions. Just enter your question and we'll review it. Put a name in there that's not anonymous and we will give you a shout out. You can also watch our YouTube videos and comment on those if you have questions. So, Andy, send us away.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this show. From the bottom of my heart.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks.